Alrighty everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing things a little bit differently just because I ran out of time yesterday. I literally only had 30 minutes as soon as I got back home from work, and so I didn't have time to do my full video recording, and so everything is just going to be done via pictures. It is very in-depth still, but it's not the full video and everything accompanying it like I normally do. So this is going to be a guide on the seasonal Alpha Bear Dream Boss. And this is the second time it's come around, and so strategies have changed a little bit. This picture right here is from my first attempt that I did right after reset. And so normally I do one attempt just so I'm on the leaderboard in case I don't get back home from work in time, just because my work is very demanding now that I've been promoted into upper management. So anyways, and this is the battle results for that first attempt. So I'm working with 1.6 million right here. So this is the entire spreadsheet that I did. So each one of my attempts I did, and I'm just going to go through every single one of them and show what all I did, the team format, layout and such, artifact, and then the damage stats on it. Here's the first attempt that I did. This was actually my highest attempt that I did as well, and so it's similar to just double hyper carry, and then I was trying out one of the new artifacts, and it's actually fairly decent as well. It basically grants a haste attack as well as shielding and something else. But here's the damage breakdown. It's kind of blurry, but basically Odie did about 2/3 of it, and then Merrily did the other third. So that is fairly good damage run. So 1.9 billion over here is basically a variation of that first comp. So instead of throwing Odie in front using Reinier, I'm throwing Coco in front. And so the damage split, Merrily did a lot more damage than Odie, evened out a little bit just because he wasn't getting hyper carried. So I thought that was interesting that the damage did even out there, but that was a 1.86 billion run. Here is using a similar team, a different team, but this is using Florabella. So here she actually gets a pretty good use just because she is stalling with the amount of honey that you're getting procced on your characters, and so that could help delay things a little bit. I think she's going to be fine probably for this iteration, maybe for the next one, but for the later ones I think this top team is likely going to continue to outpace here just because Florabella's damage is unable to keep up and you only have a single damage dealer. So 1.87, that's still fairly respectable here. Here is a second one. It's a variation on it. So the difference is basically it's a positioning change, and so I actually did is about the same amount of damage with the position, but I also tried a different artifact as well just to see how it would do, and it did do just a slight amount better for me. So it's like, okay, maybe I should have tried the magic cascade or crescent, whatever it is, instead. So maybe if on another attempt, or if I had some time, I'll test that instead. So here we have yet another one. So this is on trying to do a full magic damage team. So it was fairly almost even split here as well, and Cassidy is doing work. This helps in this position, helps her to be able to get everybody with her title strength cast, and I did throw Coco forward instead of Odie, and so on here is it's another attempt, but I don't know what happened. I somehow lost my the damage screenshot for it. So this is yet another variation. So instead of throwing Coco forwards, I'm throwing Odie forwards, and it was roughly about the same amount of damage here. So the stalling with the honey wasn't able to keep up. So here we go, yet another combination. I've seen a lot of people do fairly well with this, but for me it just did not do well. This is one of the comps. I think the main reason to use Corn is that because of the tiling range, the way that honey is applied, if you have characters attacking at different tile ranges, it basically increases the tile range every time he casts the honey, and so you're just slowly expanding the amount of tiles that's allowing you to stall and do more damage. So that's one of the reasons for using Corn, but it just was not able to do well for me. It was, all of these scores are about the same, so if you have any of these comps, it should do fairly well for you. But I did lose the damage screenshots for it, so I can't show you the breakdown, but here is a little bit similar, so you could see Corn was doing some work here. This was more of one of the older standard comps on here, and so it did a fairly respectable here. This is for people who do not have Reinier, because I'm pretty sure every single one of these other teams uses Reinier. So for my free-to-play members, this is going to be one of the teams that is likely going to work well for you, just because every single day I have some guild members like, oh hey, what's a non-Reinier team? Like, give me your non-Reinier team. So I was like, all right, here you go. I actually have some for you today. I spent a lot of time testing this. So here's another one. This is a Corrin using Reinier, and so I was actually surprised. I think maybe I just got really bad RNG on this, and I wasn't able to do a whole lot of damage, or as much damage as I wanted to do. And I think it may be because I didn't have Kruger in there for the armor or the defense break, that Merrilee's damage output, despite it being the same here, it's just lower overall damage. So it's like, I don't know, it's the same artifact and such. So I'm just wondering if maybe I just had bad RNG for this run. But yeah, another variation with Reinier. Here we are, yet another one with Reinier. So this I wanted to try using Brian, just because he actually does extremely good single target damage, and I'm using him in my battle drill teams for bosses. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'll try using him here in a full magic damage team. The other thing I wanted to try is maybe instead of Reinier, I'll try using like a Cassidy instead, and see if that's going to be enough. But it's like Coco helps keep everybody alive longer, so I'm not sure it'll work on higher difficulties. Maybe on this lower difficulty I could have tried swapping out Coco for Cassidy, but even still, it's a fairly respectable, close to my highest one. So I was surprised that Brian was able to do so well. And then this is the last one. This is very similar. I think it's the same as my first one. It's just a slightly different format. So instead of, I put everybody on the left side instead of the right side, and I tried using Star Shard. Odie is carrying here for this, and so he's likely, as the stats scale further, I'm curious to see how it will go for endless mode. So here is the total breakdown again. I hope some of these comps helped you. There's going to be a lot of different teams and damage stats, and so hopefully this was a short, concise way for you all to see all of these at a glance, and then pick and use what is going to be best for your comp. Because a lot of times I'll see lots of videos like, oh, here's the team for free to play and such, and it's just a single team. It's like, okay, yeah, that's great, but every account, especially if you're free to play, you have that RNG. So it's like, oh, it's not AFK journey, it's RNG journey, and yeah, we're going now. So alrighty, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. If you guys liked something that you see, please leave a comment. I like to hear from you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.